So it's time to answer your questions. If anybody has any more questions, definitely put them in the comments and we'll do another one of these because I like finding out the answers. So here we go. All Out of Cash asks, what causes muscle cramps when you swim in cold water like I did yesterday? Well, the cramping is caused by the cold water. It's just the cold that does it. Next question, what is the best aftercare for a cramp to prevent soreness the next day? Well, soreness the next day might be inevitable. It's caused by minor damage to the muscle, akin to what you would experience from working out, lifting weights and things. The best course of action is probably to apply heat to the cramping muscle and massage it. Hope that helps. Will the U.S. ever have equal access to medical care like Cuba or Canada currently enjoys? That's a good question. Maybe. Vote Democrat. Is coffee good or bad for you? I've been hearing conflicting reports. The short answer is yes. The more in-depth answer is that coffee may reduce the risk of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cirrhosis, and gout. Antioxidants in coffee can reduce cell damage from free radicals. Caffeine is at once beneficial and detrimental to short-term memory. It can help you remember things that are in your current train of thought, but it will hinder you when you're trying to switch gears and think of something else. It can also cause temporary arteriosclerosis, may cause hypomagnesemia, and coronary heart disease. Most of the detrimental effects from coffee come from the caffeine. So you can go decaf, or an option I would prefer, drink more espresso. Espresso, though it has that reputation of being highly caffeinated, actually has less caffeine than regular coffee. And it's tasty. However, most experts agree that drinking 3 8-ounce cups or 24 ounces of coffee per day is not detrimental to overall health. Creepy Fish Girl, I like that name, asks, how much water should I drink in a day? That's actually a pretty good question because there were people saying, drink 8 glasses of water a day, things like that. Basically, most doctors today think you should drink water when you're thirsty. There's no set amount that you should drink or shouldn't drink, less than just as much as your body tells you you need. Do you believe in ghosts? No. How come sometimes I sneeze when I look at a bright light? That's a good question. That's called the photic sneeze reflex. It's a genetic trait which you've inherited from one or both of your parents. It's a dominant genetic trait, so you will likely pass it on to your children. It's basically a little short circuit between a couple of nerves in your head. When the optic nerve from your eyes is overstimulated by the bright light, some of the energy being transmitted along that nerve jumps to the trigeminal nerve, which goes to your nose, and makes you sneeze. And it's a condition that affects between 17 and 35% of people. And it's actually been documented historically going back to the time of Aristotle. So it's been known for a long time. Not serious. What is it about Jell-O that makes my dog want to roll in it? I could not find an answer to that anywhere. My own hypothesis would be that the dog can sense some of the animal products that are still in the Jell-O. Jell-O is made from collagen, which is extracted from animal bones and skins. So perhaps the dog can sense that and he likes it. Where's my spoon? It's always in the last place you look. Draco Fave asks, do you feel that the same-sex union documents which existed between the 10th and 16th centuries, often relating to Saints Sergei and Bacchus, in any way delegitimizes the religious arguments against civil unions? That's an interesting question. From what I can tell, it's unclear whether those documents are indicative of a sexual relationship. If in fact they are, then yes. What's clear to me is that in the Bible Jesus never said anything on the subject of homosexuality, and also the argument is often made that Christians do not observe the vast majority of the laws of the Old Testament, so why should they observe anti-gay laws and not the others? I find that a more compelling argument. Does your interest in sharp things extend to ancient warfare? Yeah. While I find any type of warfare generally abhorrent, I do think weapons are really cool. Next. Were you raised an atheist, and if not, what led you to becoming an atheist? No, I was not. I was raised without any specific religious beliefs. My mom was raised Lutheran, and my dad was raised Methodist. Neither of them was very enthusiastic about religion by the time I came around. I attended Sunday service at a Christian church exactly once in 1990 with my grandfather. My mother, I think, is still sort of Christian-y, and my dad doesn't talk about religion, though he once somewhat emphatically stated that he is not an atheist. I began to think seriously about religion when I was in high school. Christianity didn't appeal to me, but I wanted to believe in a God. I didn't really know what I was until I discovered the writings of Thomas Paine. I read The Age of Reason and decided I was a deist. That lasted a few years, until Douglas Adams died. I then began to find out more about him, his atheism, his friendship with Richard Dawkins. You can probably see where this is going. I heard the many refutations of the arguments for God's existence, and it was like a light came on in my brain. The universe makes much more sense to me when there's nothing supernatural behind it. As Douglas Adams said, isn't it enough to see that a garden is beautiful without having to believe that there are fairies at the bottom of it too? I like that. And finally, what is the average velocity of an unladen swallow? What do you mean, an African or a European swallow? That's all the answers for today. If you have more questions, no subject is out of bounds, as you could probably tell from this video. So yeah, ask away.